Have you ever wondered why in some situations you are really confident and in others you just crumble, no matter how much pressure there is or not? Maybe you find yourself in the same situation, but some days you're really confident and other days you aren't. Let's take a look today around confidence and let's see how we can change that for you so that you can be in a higher confidence state more often. Now, welcome everyone. It's good to see you all tuning in. Love to see a few more videos on. Now, everyone has confidence. There's no doubt about that. Everyone has confidence, but it's hidden for many people, or aspects of their confidence is hidden away. So what holds us back? So I'm really curious. I'd love you to pop into the chat. What holds us back when it comes to us being confident in different situations? What do you think holds us back when it comes to confidence in different situations? Pop it in the chat. Wendy, worrying about what others might think, 100%. We're concerned, we have a fear of maybe being wrong or maybe someone else having a different opinion. Deborah, intimidated by talking to groups of peers. Sunny, imposter. Angie, lack of clarity, lack of passion. Interesting. Oh, I like that one. What else? What else might hold us back from being able to bring our true confidence? Fear of making a fool of oneself, of course. These are great, and keep them coming. But what's really important is we generally have a handbrake on. There is something that is pulling the handbrake on for us. And our job is to think about how can we release that handbrake from what is holding you back. It could be beliefs from things that have happened in the past. Something happened, you made meaning of it, which formed a belief. That could be one thing. It could be repeating patterns where you start to create a fear of something. As we said, some people there talked about fear of making a fool of oneself, or fearing of not knowing enough, or maybe even being found out. It could also be an environment we're in where we haven't been surrounded around by role models who have high confidence. Maybe they just tend to shy away from things. Could be conditioning. You condition not to speak up. Maybe you condition not to, shine in front of other people. It could also be self-talk. Sometimes we tell ourselves these negative things that stop us from actually being who we really, really are. Some other things that you may not even think about that affect our confidence and how confident we can show up. That is our body language and also our breathing. So today we're going to dive in and have a look at confidence. And so to kind of understand what we're going to be looking at today, because to me, there's kind of three key types of confidence. Let's have a look at the two we are looking at. So we're looking at how we project confidence. So what you show to the world. So what is the confidence people see in you when you walk, talk, present, speak, interact, have a conversation, maybe even just walk past someone. But we also going to look at that internal confidence, the self-confidence and what you feel. But the projecting confidence is quite often considered as your kind of charisma. What is that confidence that shows up in you? And what you feel, we're going to talk about that as being your confidence, your self-confidence for today. The one area that we aren't going to dive into is inspiring confidence in others. And so we won't have time to focus on that. So we're going to purely sit in the space of projecting confidence and our internal self-confidence. Now, if we look at our internal self-confidence, it's a belief in oneself, the conviction in your ability to take on challenges and succeed, and the desire to take action. I really like that definition of self-confidence, a belief in oneself. And how often have we found ourselves in situations where we're just not sure if we're good enough? We're not sure if we can take that leap. We're not sure if we're willing to be uncomfortable. And there's other times when You might have that ability, but you just don't quite feel it at the moment. For some reason, there's a lack of conviction there. Or we've got it all, but we feel comfortable. And so we don't take that action that's required to really step in and do something. So we're gonna really, really focus on this. But before we go into a little bit more unpacking of confidence, I want you to just write these down yourself. Don't need to write them in the chat, but just for yourself. And we're going to rate yourself on a confidence rating. And so, as I said, just keep this to yourself, unless you feel like sharing. But on a rating of 0 to 10, if you think about you as a human right now, what is your confidence in doing maybe what your life purpose is or your work is? And just think about it. Are you on a more towards the 0 of being really anxious and nervous about what you're doing right now? Or are you more towards that I'm a born performer, I'm very, very comfortable? So I just want you to pop that down. Are you from 0 through to 10? What might that rating be? As I said, you don't need to share it out loud. Then I want you to have a look at from a certainty perspective. From a certainty, we're going to go from 0 to 10 again. But thinking about your certainty right now in life, are you in kind of overwhelm, maybe stuck or frozen? You've got lots of things are happening. It's kind of blurred between the present and the future, and there's so much going on. You don't have much certainty. Or are you more towards the 10 of having lots of clarity around your ability, the thoughts that you're having, the focus that you're on right now, and maybe the direction you're going? So rating from a 0 to 10. And thirdly, we're going to look at conviction. From 0 to 10, what is your level of conviction right now in what you're doing? Do you have more doubt, which would be more 0, 1, 2, 3, or right through to maybe a 10 where you have full belief in yourself? You believe that you can do what you plan to do. So I just want you to keep those. I think that it's really good to kind of see where those ratings are, but then take away maybe some skills from today and see how you can move yourself along those rating scales. But confidence is something we don't necessarily form or push to come out. It'll show up when you have real certainty and conviction in your life, or real certainty and conviction around, maybe if you're a speaker, around the topic you're speaking on. If you're in the workplace, you have real certainty and conviction around what your role is. So I think it's really good to understand that confidence shows up when you have certainty and conviction. So as we unpack today, we're going to not only look at confidence, but we're going to look at how certainty and conviction helps us lead to that higher level of confidence. And by the way, feel free to pop any questions in the chat as we go along. So let's have a look at a model. We had a lot of people talk to us around confidence. Some of you may have seen this, but thinking about when it comes to confidence, how can we look at a model and understand confidence a little bit better? So we're going to share with you now the House of Confidence, which is specific to Speakers Institute Corporate and Speakers Institute users as well. And so the House of Confidence helps us to unpack confidence and how we can improve levels of confidence in different situations and understand how they work. So we're going to think of it as a house, and think about that. If you've got shaky foundations, if there's an earthquake, then the likelihood of that house staying, or maybe a big tsunami or typhoon or big hurricane comes through, if it's got shaky foundations, it's likely to crumble. And it's like us as human beings. If we have shaky foundations, then when things get tough, when the pressure comes on, then we are likely to crumble. So our first level, the foundational level of confidence, is your level of no matter what, I will be okay. Now, this foundational confidence requires deep internal work. It needs deep reflection. It quite often needs a coach to help you grow this. It's very difficult to grow foundational confidence in many cases on your own. And so when I think about foundational confidence, you'll all have a level of, no matter what, I'll be okay. And some will be higher than others. For me, it's very high. Like I think I've explained to some of you before, when we knew we were having our baby, I didn't do a single piece of research on parenting. Didn't do a single piece of research on the pregnancy, on what was going to happen for the birthing, until actually we got to the hospital on the day that Julie was going to have the baby. And she goes, oh, by the way, I've got these forms. And I just quickly looked at it and went, okay, the only one I would need to know is if she needs pain medicine, and what's involved there. I want to know a little bit about that. That's all. And so I have this very high level. I literally went, there are 8 billion, well, they think there's 8 billion. I reckon there's closer to 10. I've been to some countries where they don't register everyone. Probably 10 billion people on the planet. There's been over 110 billion people previously. I would say at least half of those were born on the side of the road or in a tent. Surely it can't be that hard. Now, that's my level of foundational confidence. No matter what, I'll be okay. We'll figure it out. If I don't know anything, then I'll ask. And so each person has a different level. So that's the starting part. Now, if you want to grow this, it takes time. And you've got to do the internal work. And it could be things like unlocking beliefs. It could be things about unpacking some of the fears that you may have, and maybe looking back into your past to realize what are those handbrakes that have been put on that we need to release to go forward. And so that's the first part there. So that's our foundational confidence. The second part is when we think about the part of the house, we now build the structures of the house. So the walls and the structures, maybe even the pillars of the house. So the next part I want you to think about is your situational confidence. So you have this foundational confidence that in no matter what situation will always be there. But then you have situational confidence. So for me, when I was an athlete, international sport coach, I'd done it for many years. So I had built up really high situational confidence. At the age of 32, I was recruited in to be C-suite, so an executive level inside a company of 500 people, brand new facility and project, the first one of its kind in the world, 500 staff from 22 nationalities, and it was $125 million build and startup that we were creating. So what do you think my situational confidence was like? Really low in that, but I had high foundational confidence to get me through. So I was able to, in some ways, not quite wing it, but I was able to mask the situational confidence because I knew no matter what, I'll be okay. But what is situational confidence, and how can we help us in different situations fast track our confidence? So 3 key components here: competence, familiarity, and preparation. Now, preparation and is something that you can start from today. The more you prepare, the more confident you will become, because you know what you're going to be speaking on. You know what environment you might be going into, what work you might be doing. Familiarity, go in and be able to feel and sense what is that environment you're going to be working in. And the more time you're in it, the better you're going to be, the more confident you're going to be, because you're used to being in that situation. And it's like driving a car. The first time you drive a car, you've got very low situational confidence. But the more you study the driving manual, the more you get into the car as a learner drive and you have someone next to you who take lessons, the more familiar you become. And over time, you develop your deep sense of competence. So that's your situational confidence. The final part that most people don't even think about is your daily effects. And there's 2 key components to this one. And it's the roof of the house. And to some extent, one part of this is maybe even considered the fence that surrounds the house. And it's your well-being and proximity on a daily basis. Because as you may be aware, some days you can be in the same situation, but some days you feel more confident than others. So there's something else going on. And that's when we talk about the importance of your well-being and your proximity. So from a well-being perspective, how well have you slept? Are you getting exercise? Are you making sure that you eat well? Are you drinking enough water? Are you freeing your mind? Are you getting a chance to recover on a regular basis? Or are you just working too hard? What is your system and what is your physiological state in right now? So well-being. But then the proximity, and as I said, maybe you can consider this as the fence. From a proximity perspective, who are the people that you are listening to? Who are the people that surround you? Are they positive or negative? What is someone just saying before you go into a meeting or you go to a presentation? What are you consuming even on social media? Or even on TV? What are those influences that are having on you that may affect your confidence? And so really critical that we gain an understanding of that from that perspective. Now, if we dive deep into the foundational confidence, here are some ways that you can start to build this on your own. And as I said, to go deeper with this, you will need potentially some coaching to really help you run this. But if we have a look at this, first off, breathing can have an impact on your foundational confidence long term. If you shift from breathing high, chest breathing, where it's shallow, which turns on all the stress receptors in your nervous system, to shifting to deep breathing and slow breathing, and you do that on a regular basis, it will help start to shift your confidence, your foundational confidence. Why? Because your central nervous system is in more of a relaxed recover or rest state mode versus that high stress mode if you're breathing high. So that's one you can do. Anyone can do that. And you can make that shift at any moment. Posture, the way you stand, the way you walk, the way you move. The taller your posture, the more open your central nervous system can flow, the oxygen can get through your body, your body will start to feel better. So if you're feeling better, the confidence tends to grow. So posture is important. And so when we think about this foundational confidence too, you can also put this into, say, a situation where you are projecting confidence as well. So think about both self and projecting as we go through this. The second part, which many of you would have heard, is things around self-talk. It could be something that you say on a repeated basis, like a 3-word mantra. I've got this. Just do it. They could be little mantras that you could say to yourself on a regular basis that help develop your confidence. So positive self-talk, saying things that are positive. And I really like the 3-word mantras. It's easy to remember. It's got a good rhythm, and our mind remembers well in threes. Then from a non-verbal perspective, if we are someone, if we are stressed and tight and things like that, or we're shaky, then that is going to, from a projecting confidence point of view, affect other people. So the more relaxed you can be, slow with flow movements, this here is going to project greater confidence in other people. So thinking about the non-verbals that you've got, is it relaxed but tall? Is it slow with flow movements rather than fast and sharp? Are you relaxed or are you shaky? So things like that. Think about what are your non-verbals, or even the way you screw up your face or the way you fold your arms. Are you projecting great confidence? The final one is words. Confident words, thinking about words that bring confidence in others. Now, why all of these are good for both self and projecting is because if we are actually projecting something positive, that is going to then start to help with the forming of the self-talk and things like that inside. So we can have an impact on ourselves. So 5 ways that you can start to build your foundational confidence. If we need to go deeper, we love to do what we call the belief change process. And this is a really powerful, I'm not going to go into this today, but this is for something where you might have, there's something really holding you back in regards to your performance. you're not sure why, you've got this limiting barrier that doesn't allow you to step up to the next level. And so sometimes you need to go back into your past, find out what belief has been formed that now stops you or prevents you from playing full out, from reaching your potential. And so here's what we do here is we literally identify with you. Number one, a current belief that you might have. We then get you to write down what are the actions because of that belief, which then lead to which results, what are your current results because of that belief. Then we flip it and go, what would be the new results you would like? What are the new actions you're going to need to take to achieve those results? And then finally, what will now be your new belief? So it's a really powerful 6-step process that we love doing. For those of you who are online that do Protégé or are doing Protégé, check out Confidence and Certainty, and we go quite deep into this, which is really important. So some great ways there to think about how we can build our situational confidence, but also understand what is that, the layers of confidence we need to be aware of in that setting. If you got any questions, pop them in the chat. We're going to keep moving because I want to share with you a couple of other things today, which are really important. When it comes to, people in this world really love to, they admire like a calmness and control in people. And so I want to, when we think about developing an ability to inspire confidence, so we're going to talk a little bit about how we project and inspire confidence in others now. That ability to inspire confidence is such a critical point where you want to get people to follow you, rely on you, and know that you're in control of is something. And it's people that, people really admire this. They naturally admire someone who inspires confidence in others. And so I want you to think about how, with building your house of confidence, building that situational confidence, building the ability to project confidence so that you start to inspire confidence in others to follow you, rely on you, and know that you're in control. Because people are really inspired by calmness and confidence. So let's unpack this a little bit. Let's have a look at, how can we put ourselves into a state? And some of this is a little bit repetitive from earlier on, but it's a good, if you see it again, it magnifies the importance of it. So let's look at the first part here, and that is your state and the importance of your body, your mind, and your breath when it comes to, from a confidence point of view, when you're projecting that out. But always know that a leader is never hurried. A leader is never hurried. And if you see great leaders, the confidence that inspires in you because they are not rushed, because they are not stressed, that it's an admirable trait. And so how do we do that from a body, mind, and breath perspective? So a couple of things to think about here. First part, tall with grace. Okay, so you want to be tall, but you need kind of a relaxed jaw, relaxed posture, not stiff. Tall, you need to be relaxed. You can feel that, if I go stiff, you can feel that tension. But if I relax, now it's calming for you. Also think about how you lower your pulse by slowing down your breathing. The slower, the more deeper into your belly, and the slower you go with your breath, it will lower your heart rate, which then allows you to control the energy of the room. The lower your heart rate, the calmer you will create the environment around you. And from a mindset perspective, really being open and being both open but focused at the same time on the conversation, the situation you're being in, and then people feel that real care. They feel that care factor that comes from that state that you're in. Okay, so let's look at the second part here when it comes to projecting that calmness and confidence that people naturally admire. So the second one here is reassurance, and thinking people want to feel important. So when you project confidence, people start to feel like they're really important. They're the most important person in the room. So how can you ensure that people feel heard, seen, and at ease? And great ways to do this. One is words of encouragement. 2 is be a great active listener. And 3, include others in the conversation. So words of encouragement, be a great active listener, and include others in the conversation. The final part here is warmth. And how can we create calming confidence and through your face and your eyes? And I want you to realize that your eyes reveal your state of mind. A gentle, relaxed smile, number one. Slow with flow movements, number two. And number three, genuine softness in your eyes will create calming confidence. So gentle, relaxed smile, not a big cheesy smile, but just a relaxed smile on the face. Slow with flow movements, and that genuine softness in your eyes will ensure that you create a calming confidence. Now, if you really want to go to the next level, your ability and in confidence, your ability to hold a pause is the most relatable measure of your confidence. So being comfortable in silence, your ability to hold a pause is the most relatable measure of your confidence. So let me unpack that a little bit. So when you're speaking, if you fill the gaps of silence with ums and ahs, then it projects low confidence in others of you, a low level of confidence. If you're rushing through, low level of confidence, low status. If you want high status, high projection of confidence, the longer you pause, the less you say, and the comfortableness you have when you're waiting for someone to speak next. The silence is a great power when it comes to projecting confidence in others. We're going to touch off finally the last part here around certainty and the language of certainty. So I want you to pop into the chat. Sunny, I tried slow breathing but got unease with it. Why is that? Okay, so because your body's not used to it, you're probably shocking it to begin with. So it's a matter of slowing it gently, not going too fast on this, but slowing it down. A good way to do it is lie on your back on the ground, put one hand on your chest, one hand on your belly. And as you breathe in, let your belly button rise up. And as you breathe out, let the belly button go down. If your chest goes in and out, you're breathing too high. Just slow it down, and that will help get you into a state, but don't try and go too long to begin with. Okay, when you're running short of time, has to explain with confidence what one should do. Okay, great. Say less with more and use really confident words without the filler words in there. So go, like if you're asked a question, answer it in the first sentence. That's a good way to show confidence straight away. All right, let's have a look at some certain words and phrases. So words like, here we go. Words like will, can, must, necessary, inevitable, no are really good certain words rather than maybe, could, possible. So really thinking about what are words that provide certainty in people, which projects great confidence. Great phrases, what I or we know is, this shows that I or us, or shows me that, or us that, today I need to, or now is the time to. These are really good phrases that show certainty. So think about those. Try and avoid those uncertain words that don't show a level of confidence for other people in you. The final part here we'll look at is just certainty nonverbals, and I'll go through relatively quick on these. First one, less blinking. Second one, purposeful pausing. Third one, little head movement. Fourth one, low tonality. So the lower the tonality, the more certain you come across. Hold your gestures. So not moving all the time, but holding them. Speak slowly and clearly. Comfortable smile, which you spoke about earlier. Grounded with a tall posture. Is a great way to do that. And I want you to finish at the end here to think about when we're in situations where it's uncertain, we need to provide clarity. And a great way to do this is by sharing, this is what we know, this is what we don't know, and here is what we are doing next. That provides certainty in uncertain times by providing clarity. Really, really key. So thinking about your confidence, we've got to go deep. We need to focus on that foundational confidence, to continually work on that and build that over time. But we also need to know that when we're in certain situations, if we keep focusing on preparation, get familiar with the environment, we will then become competent in what we do. And therefore, your confidence will rise in that situation. And finally, be aware of your daily effects of well-being and the proximity around you. I want you to pop into the chat quickly here. What is the one thing that has resonated with you the most today? I know we just popped 1 or 2 minutes over time here. I apologize for that. For those who need to leave, you can catch the recording later. Lower your heart rate. Great. Wendy, please show that last slide. My apologies. Here we go. I'll just pop that back up for you. There we go. There's the last slide. Breathe. We got posture, methods of developing situational confidence. Posture, breathe slowly. Great. Okay, keep these going. So thanks everyone for joining us today. I really, really enjoyed being here talking about confidence and certainty. For those that are interested in either some one-on-one coaching or maybe even for your team at your workplace around how can we develop greater confidence and certainty inside either for you or inside the company, please let us know and we can create a personalized program for you. You can email us at clients@speakersinstitutecorporate.com. I'll just pop that into the chat. Thanks very much for attending today. Have a great week, and we look forward to speaking with you soon. Have a confident day. Bye for now. See you soon.